Hey guys, today I am reviewing a draft that I did in person. So I think this is only like the third or so paper draft that I've ever done, actually, which is really funny because I've done over 50 drafts. Um, so we are starting with beta, and then we're gonna have two packs of Arthurian Legends. So right away, you see me pull Blink, Iron Shackles, and that's a Silver Valkyrie, which is the 6 mana 4 power airborne minion, which I think is like looks cool. It's like an elite. You think that it's good, and then it's really like, well, it's 3 mana more than a Plume Pegasus, and it's only one more power, so it's actually kind of weak. I think it's like maybe like a C plus B minus kind of. Um. Anyway, so I take the Iron Shackles. It's colorless. Like there's a couple really good exceptional artifacts that you should just first pick whenever you see them, basically, because they keep you open and they go in every single deck. So Rolling Boulder, Torsehammer Trinket, and Iron Shackles. Iron Shackles is just incredible removal. Like you can just never get rid of it, basically. So here there's a foil tower, Plume Pegasus, Highland Clansman, I guess. But there's a Wrath of the Sea, which I haven't played too much, but it's very good. So it floods everything that's near any body of water. So every body of water gets expanded, and then it floods everything, or it drowns everything that's in water. So it can just wipe the board pretty reliably, and you know that it's coming, so you can maybe play around it. So that's what I take. Um, there's this thing in one pack of beta, two packs of Arthurian Legends where people try to stay away from water, which isn't really doesn't really make sense because Arthurian Legends water is really good. So sometimes you can capitalize on that because people look at beta packs and they see a bunch of bad cards and they think I don't want to be in water. But here there's a turtle, a quagmire, a cyclops, a desert, a sedge crab. But yeah, I think it's between turtle and cyclops, and I end up taking the cyclops. Um, just 6 mana 6 power thing, and I don't necessarily want to lock myself into water. But I'm not sad to do that. And then Rimland Nomad, there's a Berry, Geyser. Geyser and Wildfire are kind of worse than the first two cards, but Berry's the best card by a lot. So I took a water card, a fire card, an earth card, and then a colorless card. So I'm super open right now. Haven't taken any air cards, and I've passed some decent to good air things. So that's where we're sitting right now. By the way, this is an Explorer Series event. This was the one in Milwaukee, so I think it might be like the last Explorer Series event of the season, other than the like kind of award ceremony or whatever. I'm not going to be there for that. Um, so this was a cool event. There was just 6 of us. This is a really bad pack. I don't know what I take here. It might be Geyser. It's probably Geyser, right? Beast of Burden just is not particularly good. So yeah, I think I just spec on a Geyser, and now I have 2 water cards. Um, so yeah, there was 6 of us, so kind of a small pod. We did 1 beta, 2 Arthurian Legends. We did use all the regular house rules that we use when we play online. Okay, we got a lightning bolt. Oh, but there's a minor explosion. So now I can stick to not taking air cards. I can just take this minor explosion, and I have Cyclops plus minor explosion. Pretty happy with that start. So yeah, this is a cool event. It was pretty chill. I know like James, John and Ryan from my local store in Green Bay. Um, and then there was a couple other people. I think Kevin, and I think there's one other person. I don't remember their name. But anyway, this was a really good start to a draft. I felt pretty open. Um, During these kinds of drafts, you do kind of want to lock in your elements at some point, because not all the cards in these packs are playable. So sometimes you got to worry about getting to 24 spells that are actually decent. Here the Silver Valkyrie wield, which I was a little bit surprised to see. It's not a bad card by any means. I wasn't slamming it as a first pick. But honestly, like it's not bad. Like it's pretty solid still. Like 4 power is a lot, and airborne gives you some protection. and some mobility, of course. The untap, I hardly have ever seen that come up, but sometimes it matters. So that's what I take, and makes me feel like Earth is pretty open. Like I got like a third pick berry, I think, or fourth pick berry actually. I think I might just take a village here. Everything else is pretty replaceable. By the way, I turned the speed up to 1.5 times. I think that was that was a village. Um, Here's a desert. I think I'm just gonna take. There's also a sedge crab that is fine. I really don't mind the card. I think I gave it a pretty decent grade in our set reviews. I play it most of the time. It gets picked pretty late, so it's a nice one to pick up at some point. But I'm just gonna take a desert, and I think I'm pretty evenly split still between the three elements. Um, so yeah, Muck Lamprey. I mean, it's whatever, right? I mean, Scourge Zombie is also a fine card. So all these cards are pretty much the same to me. Like I don't know what I take here, but they're all pretty replaceable. I guess I'm a little surprised I'm not taking Scourge Zombie just because it feels like Earth is probably the most open element. And yeah, I'll just take a free Wild Boars. Maybe I am kind of wanting to hedge toward water because Wrath of the Sea is like one of the best cards that I drafted. Um, I think Iron Shackles is better. Barry is probably better, or maybe on par, just because there's so much blowout potential with Wrath of the Sea. So if you see how I organize my cards, I honestly I would usually just put the sites of the element next to the cards of that element, but right now I'm still split between my three elements: fire, earth, and water. So I'm trying to figure out what element I should be in, and the way that I organize my cards is to just put all the cards of each element next to each other, and you can see like how are things going. I check my picks pretty often, which is pretty good for this recording. But yeah, so right now I got like three pretty good Earth cards. I guess maybe I can pause on this. So I've got Berry and Silver Valkyries is my like two really good Earth cards, and then I guess a Village, and then it's Minor Explosion, Cyclops, and Desert as things pulling me into Fire, and then for water, honestly, it's really just Wrath of the Sea, and then like Geyser is a fine card. I think that's pretty much it, right? Yeah. So basically, I have like two good cards of every element that I'm in, and everything else is like pretty replaceable, but not unhappy with some of those cards. Like they'll make the deck if I end up in those elements. But yeah, not really getting pulled particularly hard in any direction, and it's going into pack two. So open Monstrous Lion. All right, I'm gonna snap that off, and I'm gonna basically commit to fire at this point. Like that's an insane card. Um, yeah, 4 mana, 4 power charge. Enough said. It's just gonna eat something, and then they're gonna have to trade something for it, if not two things for it, and you're just gonna get like a 2-for-1 or better pretty much every time with that card. So really, really good. And then I'm looking what I'm gonna wheel. So there was a yellow knight, so the Earth Fire Knight. That's the most interesting thing to me. I didn't really see what else was in there, but I think there was some other decent stuff. We will see when it comes back. All right, so it's a Tooth Fairies. Yeah, this pack is horrible, right? Oh, I guess there's a Vikings, yeah. But like everything else, like there's a bunch of good air cards. And then it's like, okay, the best card I can wheel out of this is Joust, I think. Like, it's pretty rough, but at least I got a 4-power minion out of it, and I'm still sticking to fire, which is nice to still feel things out and just take cards in the element that you know you're gonna be in. So I see a lot of Common Cottagers, there's Shameless Squire, that might pull me into water. There's a bonfire, a pond. I guess I am. Yeah, I don't know. I guess yeah. I don't think pond does anything. I guess actually, Monstrous Lion is a beast. Maybe that's a thing. It could be Steam. But honestly, looking at my water, it's a bit thin. Like Berry plus Silver Valkyries is pulling me into Earth a little bit more than just Wrath of the Sea, basically pulling me into water. Um, so I'm definitely questioning it quite a bit, and I might just bet on this Common Cottager's Wheeling. No, I just take the Cottagers. Okay, that's fair, but it's still a pretty low commitment pick. Um, okay, so Hunting Party is pretty strong, and it's definitely much better than the Blacksmith family. But maybe I want to just take the Blacksmith family just to stay open. But honestly, I think Earth is pulling me more than water, like enough that I'm willing to kind of say I'm in Earth Fire most likely, and then we'll see what happens. And here I get a brown bears, and I'm just like, yep, all right, I'm Earth Fire. And at this point, I can look at my pack, or I can look at my picks so far and reorganize them so that I have all the Earth and Fire cards in the front. You'll probably see me do that pretty soon. And then immediately after that, get past another brown bear. So this draft is going great now. Just give me all the 4 power things, and then I even wheel this Yellow Knight. I think this is the opening pack. Yeah, I think there was a cops in that pack. So yeah, push all the water stuff to the back, and then I'm gonna reorganize the pack. So I the way that I organize my picks, because I check them all the time, like I said. So um I put the sights in the front, and then I put all of the non-minion spells behind that in mana cost order, and then I put all the minions behind that in mana cost order. The reason I do this is because really I want my magics to be kind of in my forefront, because that's the most important thing to balance out. Because you can have like 15 to 19 minions, but your magics, like, you kind of like every one pick of your magic slot, or your non-minion slot, I should say, is taking up like more than 10% of your total pool of non-minion spells that you can play. Whereas every minion pick is only like 5% of your total minions. So um because of that, I think it's just really important to like keep an eye on your magics, because that's really the metric that you have to be thinking about as you're drafting whether or not you should be, if there's a close pick, and if it's, should I take this minion, should I take this magic, then you just quickly glance at your picks and you see, oh, I only have 2 magic so far, and I'm in pack 3. I should really just take this removal spell. That's a lot easier to do. And then curve of minions, for sure, is important. So that's why I always put things in curve order. Starting with the cheapest and going up from there. And yeah, I think it's a pretty good strategy. Cursed Land is in this pack. I really don't like that site at all. I think it's like whenever someone plays a site nearby, they take 2 damage, and like you're playing it on your side of the board, so you're just more likely to take more damage than your opponent. And yeah, that's just it's not really that great. So I have a Frisky Red Squirrel. That's kind of like if I absolutely need to put it in my deck, maybe I will. There's a Valor and a Stone Rain. So I quick took a look at what magics I had, and I think I'm going to take one of these magics. I think I take the Stone Rain because more removal is good. Valor's a fine card, but I think just having something you can always cast is just better most of the time. Valor's pretty cool, though. I would not mind a Valor in my deck. All right, so into pack 2. I'm going to reorganize again. I've got some sites. None of them are fixing sites. I've got Cottagers there. And it looks like 4 removal spells. And about 10 minions. I've only got one mana minion and 2 2-mana minions. So my curve isn't looking the best so far. And then I have Yellow Knight. I don't know what other 3-mana minions I have. But yeah, foil squeakers and some other trash, I think. Oh, thankless squire. All right, we're going to open pack 3. Yeah, this is the pack that I opened and was just like extremely disappointed. Like Ooh. Water Sight, 2 air exceptionals, and a rare air card. Yeah, so like literally the only card in this pack that I would play is the Lumbering Giant. So I just take that. Yeah, there's just nothing to wheel. I guess there's a Forge. I don't know. I don't think I get the Forge back actually. So that pack is just completely dead to me. Tons of 4-power things though. So that's always a hallmark of a good deck. 2 brown bears, a lumbering giant, and a monstrous lion. Pretty good. Pretty good pile of 4-power things. And I guess Silver Valkyrie's a 4-power thing too, but it's kind of on the weekend for being 6 mana. All right, blue cap knockers. Happy to see that. Avalon, I'm never gonna play that, basically. Another brown bears and a kettle top leprechaun. I'm not sure what I take. Yeah, this pack is just absolutely on fire. Like Village Joust, kettle top leprechaun, blue cap knockers, brown bears. And I take the brown bears. I think I should have just taken the kettle top leprechaun. I should have checked my curve and seen what I need the most because I think brown bears is the best card there, but kettle top is really what I needed for my curve at this point. And honestly, I think by the end of this draft, my curve is not looking so great. So this is another God pack. Burning Hands, Shatter Strike, Village, and Redbreast Robin. Those are all really nice. Not sure what I take. I think I do take the Shatter Strike because I have, I think, 5 4-power things in my deck, and if not more. Yeah. Actually, I think I have 7. Silver Valkyrie, Vikings, 3 Bears, Lumbering Giant. Okay, maybe it's 6. Oh, and a Monstrous Lion? Did I say that? No, I didn't. Yeah, there's 7 4-power things. That's crazy. And I take a Sword and Shield. I did just take a Shatter Strike, so Sword and Shield might actually be a real card. And then Fire Breathing, like, yeah, I definitely ended up in the right elements. I did a good job staying open in pack 1 and kind of trying to figure out where I'm supposed to land, and I definitely landed in the right spot. I mean, when you get past 2 brown bears in a row in pack 2, pretty telling. And I just opened like an incredible fire card, so not like the hardest draft to figure out. But I could have just been slamming water cards all of pack 1 because I had that early Wrath of the Sea. But thankfully, I just was on the take the best card in the pack kind of train, and this is where we ended up. Yeah, there's a lot of power in this deck, which, yeah, really means I should just be taking that Leprechaun. Like, I just need to survive long enough to start playing 4-power things. And I just take an Arc Lightning because, like I said, I have like 7 4-power things in my deck, and Arc Lightning is a great answer to them. So that was that pack that just had like a bunch of trash in it. Or like it had good cards, but none of them were in my elements. Yeah, my curve is not looking great, so pretty positive I just take blue cap knockers. I thought I had a kettle top in this deck, but I guess maybe I don't end up with one. Yeah, that's just a lot of 4-drops. So yeah, I think that's definitely the pick that I messed up the most. At least I get a 1-drop here that's playable, so definitely take the Robin. Maybe I'm thinking about dual just because of how much beef I have, but I think the curve is way more important to get that figured out. Get into a reasonable place where I can try to spend my mana on most of my turns. Redbreast Robin isn't really a good way to buy you some time and like have you survive or anything, but I do have like one or two deserts, so I can desert something and then fly on top of it and kill a 2 power minion. That comes up all the time. Yeah, I guess I take Hamlet's Blaze, or maybe I just take Finwife because I just don't care. Yeah, I think I do just take Finwife because if my curve sucks, maybe taking Finwife away from someone that needs a 2-drop will help my chances a little bit. Doesn't really matter though. Yeah, I think maybe I just counted my playables to see where I was at, but it's not really going to matter. I'm just going to take whatever spells I can. So yeah, Iron Mantalis versus Vengeful Air, which I don't think I have a single target. I mean, I have Yellow Knight. I think it can copy a knight. Um, yeah, obviously I'm not taking Vengeful Air. But funny enough, the person next to me actually took the Sir Balin that we saw earlier, which I didn't mention. Yeah, I saw a Sir Balin like third or fourth pick, I think, in this pack, and I think it's double fire air, but I would rather not splash if I don't need to. So that is the end of the draft. So here's what the deck looks like. So yeah, tons of 4 mana things. My curve doesn't look so great. Like, yeah, it's really painful to not have taken that Kettle Top Leprechaun instead of one of these brown bears. Yeah, that really sucks, honestly. Like, I have so many 4-power things. I didn't really need that extra one. Just having a 2-drop would have been much better. But anyway, I think this deck looks really good. I mean, if I can just play something on the first 3 turns of the game, like even if it's a removal spell or something, and just get to play a bunch of brown bears back to back, then I'm probably just going to win a bunch of games. My Atlas looks pretty good, so I've got 2 villages, so that's something you can just do on turn 1. And then I've got 2 poisoned wells, which pushes some aggression. I've only got 1 desert. Funeral Pyre doesn't ever matter, but maybe my opponent has a rescue or something, or actually my opponent with like the Vengeful Air, I guess maybe that could have came up. And then I've got a couple of Hunter's Lodge. I don't think I actually played the guy that had the Vengeful Air, but anyway. Great Sweeter removal. Yeah, absolutely love this pile of cards. The Sword and Shield is something that I'm still not really convinced that Sword and Shield is very good. But I'm willing to play it in this deck because I have Shatter Strike. And then I was looking at the last cards that I had, which are down here, and it was like, do I play Entangled Terrain, Iron Man Talus, or Frisky Red Squirrel? And I was just like looking at it and thinking about it for a while, and then I realized, oh, well, Frisky Red Squirrel is another way to deal with Sword and Shield. If my opponent steals my Sword and Shield, I can either bury it with Frisky Red Squirrel, or I can use Shatter Strike to get rid of it. I guess another thing I could do is Iron Shackles, the thing that's carrying the Sword and Shield, because I think if you're disabled, you can't drop anymore. Yeah. So that's all pretty cool. Got incredible top end. I just have to get there, basically. So, yep, this is the deck, and I will go into the games now. All right, so this is game 1. Not the greatest camera angles that I had for these videos, honestly, but I didn't like invest in any fancy cameras or anything, so this is what we got. So I got Silver Valkyrie, Sword and Shield, Blue Cap Knockers, and a Brown Bears, I think. So kind of as to be expected with this deck. Not a great curve, so I don't have any 2-drop, but at least I have a village. It would be great to mulligan into a 2-drop, but honestly, there's only 2 of them in the deck. I could also mulligan into like a Wild Boars or a Redbreast Robin. That would be fine as well. Let's see. Yeah, let's speed this up. So I end up mulliganing the Silver Valkyries, which I think is right. Like, it just takes a long time to get to it. And then I mulligan the Sword and Shield, which is a card that I'm like curious to try out, but I'm not willing to keep it in my opening hand. I'd rather just top deck it at some point and have it be good. And then I get a Berry and an Iron Shackles, which are good ways to slow down the game. So pretty happy to see those. Turn 1, village, make a soldier. I've got the full art soldiers there. And then we get a look out and we get to look at my hand. So he sees I have a Hunter's Lodge. I don't think that ever comes up. Got 1 fire threshold. And here we are. All right, I top deck a Stone Rain, and I have no turn to play. I keep my Foot Soldier back to block, which is because I don't have any tricks in hand. So maybe if I had a Lance or something, I would move it up. But given that I'm kind of just wanting to survive until I can play a bunch of brown bears, then I'd rather just kind of play slow and keep my thing back to block, and then I can like play this blue cap knockers forward, and then I can block with the Foot Soldier kind of thing. But I'm going with the kind of the most defensive option, which is play blue cap knockers burrowed, which you can say burrowing doesn't come up that often, but sometimes it's pretty good. He does just attack into it, and I do block. I didn't think about it very long, but honestly, a lot of the time, maybe you should just take the damage, and then they don't have anything to do on your turns. Then you can untap and just kill their thing. But stealth is very prevalent, and he showed me an air sight and a water sight, so most likely, I don't know if he had one or not, but if he had like a Swindler Troop or a Treetop Hideout, then he could have just gotten 2 free damage in, and then made his thing stealthy, and that's just pretty annoying. Because then my blue cap knockers would just have nothing to do on my next turn. So I got brown bears in play. He's got a Plume Pegasus. Top deck a Vikings. And then I have the option of killing this Plume Pegasus. So of course I just attack in. I think I found the piece of paper that I scratched our life totals on, because I always write down our life totals. So that's what I'll use to track our life. So yeah, he's at 16. I attack for 4. His first attack I blocked. Oh, by the way, he firebolts my blue cap knockers, as you saw, which had taken 1 damage previously. So then 1 damage hit the blue cap knockers, 1 damage hit the Foot Soldier, and then 1 hit me. So I'm at 19. He's at 16. And then I did go with the Iron Shackles on the Plume Pegasus. This Plume Pegasus is on a stream right now, so that's why I didn't just use the berry. I would typically prefer to save the berry for something else. To save the Iron Shackles, because the Iron Shackles just basically always kill something, and berry, like, especially since my opponent's playing water, I would rather just use the berry as soon as I can, because I don't want them to have some bomb sitting on a water site, or if they have some bomb that has burrowing or something. But unfortunately, he played correctly and just had his thing on a water site. I think I'm playing James right now, by the way. So he looks at my hand with another lookout. So he sees I have removal. I have a Frisky Red Squirrel, which probably isn't relevant, but actually it does become relevant pretty soon in this match. And a Funeral Pyre. No one cares about that card in limited. So yeah, let's see what he's gonna do. I think he might just be like writing down the cards in my hand or something right now. All right, Men of Lang, strong play. Men of Lang right next to brown bears. Very suspicious. Yeah, so I do just have the option of like Stone Rain your Men of Lang, I guess, but I just go with brown bears, kills the Men of Lang, and then Funeral Pyre, I just remove like whatever is in his cemetery just in case, and then I have a Monstrous Lion in hand. I could have used that to kill the Men of Lang and then get in for 4 to kind of guarantee that my Monstrous Lion has an attack right away. But I decided to do the mana efficient thing and just play the Vikings. It's always a little bit dangerous to be on a water site, just in case they are playing Drown or stormy seas, it's just more likely that he has that because he's in water, but he's only shown one water site, which means maybe he is just splashing water, and if you're splashing water, you're not playing drown, or you definitely prefer not to, so not too afraid to be there with the brown bear. All right, and I think it's still 16 to 9. I've got 2 4-power things in play. I've got a really good hand, full removal, so feeling pretty good about this. He has to move up and use mortality on a Vikings. That is not a great play. He doesn't know about the Monstrous Lion, but he's about to. So yeah, unfortunately for him, he had to move forward with his Spellslinger, so that allowed me to just get in for 4 damage with Monstrous Lion, so that's what I do. So he just took 8 more damage, so now he's at 8. He pushes Rolling Boulder, killing 2 4-power things. Really strong. And then, yeah, there's just an Iron Shackles sitting there. And now I don't need to deal with the Rolling Boulder immediately, but at some point I can just play a site and bury the Rolling Boulder. I think I might just go ahead and do that this turn, though. Like, I want to make sure that my site is in range of the Rolling Boulder, but no, I don't do that. Maybe I just didn't have a site in hand. I'm not really sure. It does look like I have 2 sites, so I'm not sure why I didn't do that, but presumably there's some reason, or there's some site that I wanted to hold in hand. Maybe I have the desert in hand or something. But yeah, just get back on the board. Play a big thing. It is pretty risky not to play a site there and just bury the boulder, though. I'm pretty surprised I didn't do that, especially since he knows that I have. I know that he knows that I have Frisky Red Squirrel, so then, like, if he had the ability to play a site this turn, he would definitely just play a site in front of my Funeral Pyre, and then I don't have the option to play a site, and then Frisky Red Squirrel bury the boulder. But for now, the boulder's just sitting there, threatening eventually getting picked up and pushed again. But all right, so he plays Tooth Fairies. I think. Oh, maybe. Okay, I think maybe the reason I didn't play a site is because I'm building up sites in hand for my Stone Rain. So if I don't need to play a site out, then maybe I just hold it in hand, kind of thing. Yeah. So then so this turn I put him to Death's Door. He was at 8, so I had 3 sites in hand. So I just Stone Rain you, deal 4, kill your thing, hit you for 4, put you at Death's Door. And then I don't think I have like the kill blow in hand, but it doesn't really matter because I'm at 19 life and I have more board presence. So yeah, the game's pretty much over in my eyes anyway. Like, I'm so far ahead. Like, he had to move away instead of playing a site because he's at Death's Door. So now I go for the Valley, bury the Rolling Boulder, which is kind of his one hope of getting back into the game, honestly. And then I trade the Wild Boars for Alliance token, and I attack for, or I guess I don't attack. I attack and kill the 3/2, and play another big minion. So if he wants to play a site, he has to use a removal spell. He has to use a removal spell on my Lumbering Giant, or he has to play a blocker. It's just a horrible place to be when you're at Death's Door and they have a minion right in front of you and you're only at 4 sites. Like, but he is able to play a site. And then I think maybe he has a second Arc Lightning. Not really sure. Maybe like a Warhorse. Kind of crazy that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sites in play, and I think like 3 sites in hand, and he still just can't really do anything. Man, if he had a 5th site in hand and he could have moved forward and cast that lava flow sideways, like that would have been a great play. But yeah, this is the power of just putting your opponent at death's door and having a thing next to it, and they have to spend a bunch of time moving instead of playing sites, and you just can't really do anything. So just start moving forward, because I know I have like Minor Explosion in my deck, so I want to be close for that. But yeah, I'm not finding the death blow immediately. It's gonna go on for at least a couple turns. It's like really hard to get the death blow by just chasing your opponent with minions. Like you have to be super far ahead to do that, which maybe that actually happens in this game, but it's does not happen very often. Basically always need to draw magic that deals direct damage. All right, so surround you with minions. Play another minion, play another minion. This is probably overcommitting. I think I literally say like I hope there's not a death dealer or something, like, or just a poison nova. I mean, really a poison nova wouldn't be the end of the world, because he can't move and then cast it since I have Spellslinger there. So this is pretty safe. Like both of the new minions that I just played aren't gonna die to a poison nova anyway. All right. Did he play a site there? It looks like he still has 5 sites in play. Oh no, I think there is a new site right off of camera here. So yeah, he's 6 sites in play. He's got 2 weightless squires he put down. Did we see any water spells? I don't know if we did. Okay, yeah, I top deck Shatter Strike, move my thing, Shatter Strike you. And that is the end of game 1. All right, we are in round 2. And very nice that my opponent has this cool stand and everything. It's got our life totals on it, and it's pretty sweet. So we're gonna be able to see our life totals the whole time. All right, so opening hand, I see. Oh, I think I already put a card down. Let's go back and see what that was. Like brown bear's fire breathing. Oh, skirt zombie. Yeah, I would definitely mulligan that. And then common cottagers. So I've got a 2-drop. Pretty happy with that. I think I have a village there. So one question I have is like, do I mulligan one of my 2 fire sites? I think I do just end up keeping both of them, because I have a double fire spell, I have a double earth spell, and I'm pretty evenly split in my elements, so I can I can just do that and be okay. So I drew blue cap knockers, so that hurts a little bit. Maybe I should actually mulligan the fire site. But honestly, like I'm not mulliganing the fire breathing, so I'm definitely keeping both of those spells either way. I guess the fire breathing, you could argue like you're not always casting that on turn 4, so then you have a little bit more time to get your fire under you, then you have to get your earth under you, because you always want to play brown bears on turn 4. So maybe that was a mistake. Part of the reason you don't is because you know, keeping this hand, that there's slightly more earth sites in your deck than fire sites for you to draw. And if you bottom the fire site, then you know that there's only, 4 more fire sites that you can draw. I mean, there's technically 5, but the last one is in the bottom of your deck. I don't know. Pretty slight advantage to be more likely to have both your elements. Anyway, so he's got a turn 1 Blood Raven, which I'm not worried about at all, because I've got a Foot Soldier. And I don't have a desert in hand, but maybe at some point I draw a desert. And then he plays Hamlet on turn 2, which is a little scary. Like, I'm not a fan of Hamlet at all. I really don't like the card. Um, but on turn 2, on the play, it's pretty good. Um, so as long as he can get his threshold under him, then the Hamlet's gonna be fantastic. I'm not gonna say it's not good when it's good. So uh, yeah, we'll see. How many ordinary minions do you think he plays on this Hamlet that he wouldn't have been able to play without the mana discount? Let's see if we can track that. So Power Flight on a Blood Raven. Obviously, that's doesn't do anything. So I don't see what his turn. Oh, his first sight was Beacon, which I thought was really funny. So it's Beacon, which has the ability to produce like 1 or 2 extra mana sometimes, and then he plays Hamlet, which gives you mana discounts, and then he plays Tower, which gives you extra mana. So all of his sites are just producing extra mana or giving him discounts, which is really funny. But then he's not using any of that mana, so kind of really tough. Turn 2, he literally just cycles a Power of Flight and passes the turn, and then yeah, attack with my Common Cottagers. I also play a Poison Well, so he's at 16. Blue Cap Knockers pass. Oh, is that a mistake? Oh no, it's not. Okay, I have a Common Cottagers and a Village in play, so I do have 2 Earth Threshold, 2 Fire Threshold. Oh, I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, I did have the Common Cottagers in hand, so that's why I didn't mulligan that Wasteland at the beginning of the game, because I did have 2 Earth, 2 Fire. Even if one of the Earth Threshold is like a little bit sketchy, um, as soon as you get to the point where you can cast your thing that requires that Earth Threshold, you absolutely need to. So um, I play the Blue Cap Knockers on turn 3. I'm like, oh, thank God, I don't have to worry about getting my Earth Threshold later on to play this Blue Cap Knockers, and then turn 4, I'm pretty sure my Common Cottagers is going to survive, and then I'm going to slam a Brown Bears and be like, oh, thank God, I got these cards out of my hand. They didn't get stuck. It looks like my hand is Yellow Knight, Berry, Brown Bear, Fire Breathing, and I think a Fire Sight. I think I drew a sight for turn at some point just to make sure, just to like, I guess, see what that next site is going to be, because I know what my turn 2, 3, 4 are going to be, so I don't really need to draw sites. And maybe I draw Desert and I can kill this Blood Ravens. That's probably what I was thinking. All right. Overpower, attack your Common Cottagers, and I chump block with a Foot Soldier. And then I think for a second, like, do I actually just want to leave the Common Cottagers in the fight to then kill your Blood Ravens? But it's like, I don't care if your Blood Raven survives. And also, I'm almost positive I have a Fire Sight in hand, so I just can't possibly let my Common Cottagers die when I'm going to deploy Brown Bears next turn. So I think we will see that now. All right, so attack for 5. So once again, did almost nothing. Like turn 1, Blood Ravens. Turn 2, nothing. Turn 3, Power of Flight. Turn 4, Overpower is like really, really weak. So unfortunately, I think my opponent is having threshold issues, which, uh, interesting that he played a Hamlet and then was not able to cast any spells because of threshold issues. Like, yeah, I'm to be clear, I'm not making fun of this person for playing a Hamlet. People play Hamlet all the time, and like I can totally admit, like I think Hamlet is powerful in some instances. Absolutely, it is. But I'm still just not really a believer. Like I've just seen it go wrong too many times. Like he has 3 air sites in play now. Again, he played another site that creates more mana, which is really funny. I mean, it's really good. Like, I can't believe his Atlas is this good, honestly. But at the same time, this Hamlet is just totally screwing him. Yeah, yeah. He tries to play Househarn Bannerman, and he doesn't have 2 Earth Threshold. So, like, yeah, really unfortunate. Hamlet, like, it's really good when it's good, but it's really, really, really bad when it's bad. Like, um, yeah. Like he straight up loses this game because of that Hamlet. Like there's no question. Like maybe I still would have won the game obviously if he didn't play this Hamlet and he had a valley there instead or whatever, but the other side of it is like because he has that Hamlet, he just loses the game basically. Like yeah, like he has no chance because he played that stupid Hamlet. And yeah, this is one more point in the discussion of you should just not play that card, I think. You just can't risk it. I really don't like colorless sights. So anyway, he gained a little bit of health from the Blood Raven, from the Overpower, and then he attacked my site once. Um, but I'm just crashing him with a bunch of big things. He chump blocked and he gained some life with a Grain Sparrow, but I'm just gonna attack with everything, play another big thing, and yeah, this game isn't gonna go on for too long. And like technically he got a 1 mana discount out of his Hamlet for the Grain Sparrow on a turn that I think he spent like none of his other mana, so Hamlet so far has done nothing except for screw him on Threshold. And like maybe people will watch this and they'll be like, well, you should only play Hamlet in a 2-element deck. Like maybe he didn't build his deck right. But like as far as we can see, it's a 2-element deck. He doesn't have like any duels or anything, but I see people play Hamlet in decks that don't have any duels. So I don't think he built his deck wrong. I think that people just shouldn't play Hamlet, basically. I know I'm talking about this a lot, but that's just a card that I disagree with like most of the community about. I just don't think that the mana discount is worth the risk of this kind of game happening. All right, I'm going to talk about Hamlet more because there's nothing going on. So, like, part of it is like, okay, you do your mulligan, you see Hamlet's in your opening hand. Are you excited or are you worried? like, um, like, do you want it on turn 2? Yes, that's exactly where you want to play it, where he played it. Yeah, like turn 2, right in the middle of the board. That's where you want to deploy all your minions. Like he's doing it correctly. Um, but do you actually just keep the Hamlet? I don't know. Like, uh, I think I just would want to mulligan it. Like that's what my brain would go to. Is like, well, I need my threshold for my spells that I want to cast on curve. I don't care about getting some things ahead of curve because I have Hamlet. Anyway, I'll stop now. But yeah, maybe consider not playing Hamlet is what I'm trying to say. All right, so that was game 2. This is going to be game 3. This is my opening hand. So I've got Minor Explosion, Brown Bears, Monstrous Lion, and a Blue Cap Knockers. And then I think this is a desert, maybe a wasteland and a valley. Looks like a pretty good hand. I mean, it's got double fire, double earth in it. I think I just do a full keep here, which is uncommon for me. I almost always mulligan something. I mean, most people always do, but I think that was a turn 1 wasteland. Yeah, that's definitely a desert. And I must have a valley in hand or some other earth site. Yeah, it's a valley. I think I top decked a Iron Shackles. So that is something I can do on turn 3. I was hoping to draw a 2-drop and get a Common Cottagers. That would be really nice. But alas, I did not. I draw a site for turn. I draw a fire threshold. So now I am behind curve. I think this was a mistake, playing this site forward because I'm playing a site forward and then not playing a minion, and that's pretty crappy. Like I really want to be if I'm putting my sights in his face, I want it to be because I'm pushing aggression. I'm trying to end the game quickly. I want my things to be right in front of him, which I do in this game because I have Monstrous Lion. I think that's the reason I did it. Um, yeah, Monstrous Lion, super powerful, and if I'm playing it right in front, then I can just get in for 4 immediately. Honestly, maybe I should have just traded for this Lugbog Cat. By the way, you saw him play a Bog, and then you saw me play a Charge Minion and attack. The reason that that happened is because, unfortunately, my opponent played the Bog and was like, I play Bog Genesis, like it doesn't matter. He didn't even like target a site, and honestly, like I saw that and I was like, ugh, like you should target my poisoned well in case I have a charge minion, but he didn't, and then he passed, and I was just like, okay, play a charge minion attack you, which like feels a little bad, like maybe I don't know if that's my responsibility to be like, well, you need to target something with your bog, but I don't, so I just assume he targets, whatever site that doesn't matter. And unfortunately, it really did matter because I got 4 free damage in because of it. All right, and then he untaps. He plays the Bullfrog, swallowing my Monstrous Lion, and then he plays a Treetop Hideout and gives it stealth. All right, I went back and made sure I had the life totals right, which I did find it. So I hit him for 2 with the Poisoned Well, and then I hit him for 4 with the Lion, and then he hit me for 4. I'm at 16, and then I kill his frog. I attack him for 4. So now he's at 10. I'm at 16. And then we go from there. So I could have just traded for the cat again. I had the option to do that once again. I think I did have a reason not to do that. Oh yeah, I have a sword and shield in hand. So I'm thinking, okay, if I can just untap, and I didn't have enough mana to do all of that. I had to spend 3 mana on the minor explosion, which by the way is kind of another reason that I regretted moving up. Like I should have probably just played my sights to the side and been okay with taking things a little bit slower. Like, yes, Monstrous Lion is an aggressive card, but for the most part, like in limited, you want to just be trading your things for their things, or like your things eating their things. So I think that would have just been way better. Okay, so he plays a Babbling Brook, and then he plays Lake of Fank. And of course, this is setting up like my Lake of Fank just killed your Monstrous Lion, because you can't do anything because Monstrous Lion is disabled. And then I think I see, yeah, I have like 2 brown bears in hand, and I think I still don't have an Earth Sight. Yeah, so I just locked down his Lugbog Cat. Um, I'm okay with trading Monstrous Lion for Lake of Fank. Like that's not a big deal. But like the cat is just beating me down. So at this point, I realize like I am actually in trouble because my brown bears is just stuck in my hand. I have 2 brown bears stuck in my hand. So yeah, he goes for the trade. Lake of Fank for Monstrous Lion. I'm okay with that. Like Monstrous Lion dealt 8 damage, so not too bad. And then we have a Swindler Troop plus a Shelly Coat. Give me the stealth. Not a bad play. It's definitely weak to like another minor explosion, or if I had my Stone Rain. I guess like fire breathing. I don't have a way to deploy that to kill those. But once again, because I have that sight up there, it just looks really sketchy. But I do have 1 Earth Threshold, so I can play my Hunting Party, right? Hunting Party. And by the way, I've been using my Spell Slinger to draw 2 sights in a row, and the second one I drew, you can see, is a village. So happy to see that. It's might be too late. honestly. Like, it's not like he has tons of pressure on the board, but he has 5 power and I have 3 power, and it's his turn. So looking pretty sketchy here. It's really funny that this had to happen. So he had to move forward to use his magic missiles. And I was literally thinking about it right before he did it. I was like, Iron Shackles is pretty strong. Like, it could be upside that the shackles are sitting there with the minion still in play, because if he had a projectile spell, he actually has to move forward in order to use it. And that's exactly what happened. So yeah, unfortunately though, for me, he is able to kill the hunting party and then deal 5 damage. He cast a Power of Flight. That's how the Swindler Troop moved diagonally. And I'm kind of just sitting here with, when I have the Earth Sight in hand, I definitely draw a spell for turn. And then I still have this Sword and Shield, which is another card that I've been kind of disagreeing with the community on. Like, I don't love Sword and Shield. Like, it's kind of just a lance, if you think about it. Like, your thing trades up, and yes, your thing gets to keep the shield, but sometimes it's just a huge liability. Like, my opponent is playing water in this match, and water is like one of the best elements in Arthurian Legends, and it has Shameless Squire. So if I just put a sword and shield on the wrong minion, or even on your avatar, Shameless Squire can knock sword and shield off of your avatar, and then something can move over and pick it up. If his freaking Shelly coat got the sword and shield, like, you're pretty screwed. Okay, sorry, I went back and I made sure the life totals were right. So I'm at 10, or sorry, I'm at 7. He's at 10. So he Arc Lightning's my thing, and then he attacks with Swindler Troop. I'm at 4. And then he attacks with Shelly Coat. I have the option to block. And I do. So I keep my life total up. I'm at 4. He's at 10. So he pretty quickly swung the life total advantage that I had from beating down with my Monstrous Lion. And now he's ahead on board, ahead on life. I've got a bunch of cards in hand. And he's got a bunch of mana. My sight's on his side of the board, so it's not looking good. It's going to be really hard to crawl my way back into this game and actually win. But I'm going to do my best, so... I didn't see what that was. I'm guessing it was Barry. And then I play Funeral Pyre. I check what he has. He's in Water Air, which I still can't think of a single thing in Water and Air that deals with the cemetery, but I just take 3 minions, leave some magics in the cemetery. So yeah, I think it was Barry, and then play Blue Cap Knockers and pray that he doesn't have a way to remove it. It's kind of a big pile of things over there, but I think that's just an Iron Shackles and a Spell Slinger, but it looks like there's something else under there. What would that be? This looks like another card. Anyway. So he can at least get in for, I think, 3 damage here, but I'm at 4, so that's not necessarily Death's Door. All right, so it's Ryan's turn. I don't know if I said it earlier, but the Poisoned Well, I think, is still the biggest mistake that I made this game, playing that forward. The reason being, like, I was missing Threshold. It's just really sketchy to be missing Threshold and then player sights forward. Like, I have all this beef in my deck. I should just play it slow. I should just chill. Like, Monstrous Lion's really powerful and aggressive, but in limited, you're just trying to trade stuff, and that's why I should have just played it slower. All right, and then he attacks with Castle Servants. I decide like I would rather kill the Shelly Coat, but I'm just gonna take a block when I can take a block. So I'm just gonna kill the Castle Servant, and then he gets in for 2. So I'm at 2, and uh, he's at 10, or is he at 7? I think he's at 10. I'm at 2. And then he plays a Sugar Plum Pixie and a Muck Lamprey. At this point, I kind of, there's a lot going on the board. I think I kind of forget that that poisoned well is actually his site, or it's my site. So I'm like, okay, there's a Muck Lamprey back there. I don't really care about that, but really, like, that is another source of dealing the death blow or getting me to Death's Door. Play a Hunter's Lodge. He doesn't have anything with stealth, so I think I do the math, and I'm like, there's no way for me not to go to Death's Door. So then I will just play. I'll just attack with his blue cap knockers, and I think even if I had realized that I guess here, like, I think I'm thinking to myself that I'm safe, but actually that Muck Lamprey can't just deal 2 damage. Like, I can't block 3 things, and the blue cap knockers wouldn't have made a difference because it was diagonal to that poisoned well. So, actually, I guess that's not true. So I could have. Yeah, is there a better way for me to have played this? I could play the brown bears where it is. No, because that Sugar Plum Pixie can attack 3 of my sites. Yeah, I don't think there was a way for me to protect against these 3 attacks, unfortunately. And he has a removal spell anyway, so he uses Mortality on the Yellow Knight I played, and then gets in for 2. So I'm at Death's Door, and I think he's still at. Well, he was at 10. I hit him for 3. He's at 7. And he just chills with his Critical Plum Pixie. I think did he move away with his. Yeah, he moved away with his Spell Slinger to keep himself safe, I guess. I would have maybe just moved forward, honestly. I mean, it's a little bit risky. I guess, yeah, if he had moved forward, then I would have been able to intercept. So maybe that wouldn't have been good. Oh, and this also means that my brown bear can't attack his spell slinger. Which would mean he has to chump block with his Muck Lamprey to stay off of Death's Door. So here I do like another kind of weird thing. So I have Sword and Shield in hand. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, I can probably door him using Sword and Shield. So what I do is I tap my blue cap knockers and I move over and I tell him, like, I attack your site. And then we kind of like sit here for a little bit, and he's like waiting for me to take more actions because he thought, like, oh, you just moved over to your site. And he's like, oh, that's your site. And I was like, oh, shoot. So classic sorcery stuff, trying to attack your own sites. Oh, the other card is still that Lugbog hat that's there, of course. So yeah, I undo the move because it wasn't a legal thing, and also, like, yeah, there wasn't any new information. So of course, the only new information is that I remember that I played a site there. So I play Sword and Shield. I attack for 5, so that puts him at 2. And then I'm like, oh shoot, gotta mess this up. And I do everything in the wrong order. Also, like, I get all confused about attacking my own site, and then I I play the Sword and Shield and attack, which he can't do anything about, and then I play Common Cottagers, give him that information, and then I tap and draw a site, and then I'm like, oh, this is the way that I should have tried to get the death blow in, which is I attack you with my brown bears first, and then I try to door you with my blue cap knockers. Like, really, even, I mean, he probably would have done the same thing. I'm pretty sure, like, he would just block with the Sugar Plum Pixies because he can see I have a blue cap knockers over there, which deals 3 damage, and the 4 damage from the bears is 7 damage. So I think he would have chump blocked either way. It wouldn't have made a difference. I guess maybe it would have made me want to play the Sword and Shield somewhere different, or just play like a different card, honestly. Like Sword and Shield, still not impressed by that card. It really didn't make any difference in this game. Sometimes it's going to be the case. Like if I had a turn where I could have played it on my um on my Monstrous Lion and killed his Lugbog cat or something, that would have been really sweet. But alas, here we are. Kind of doing nothing. So he plays a Thieving Magpie. Classic 24th card in Arthurian Legends. I mean, hopefully it's not your 24th card because it's like as close to unplayable as you can get while still technically having power. So I think he plays this in the wrong spot. He should have played it on the Battling Brook because 1 damage is all you need. So it would have been the Death Blow on my avatar. Of course, you can't pick up the Sword and Shield. Don't try to do that. It can only pick up 1 mana or less artifacts. So that's not a thing that you can do. I've seen people try to do that before. So yeah, he's still sitting pretty comfortable. He's at 2. I'm at Death's Door, and he has 3 minions right next to my minion, or right next to my avatar. Also, like playing the roaming monster there is a little bit weird too. I think he's really he's too focused on staying off of Death's Door and not focused enough on just dealing the death blow. Because like clearly he doesn't have direct damage in his hand, so then one of the best ways to deal with the death blow in that situation is to just have a flying minion in front of your avatar. Like that just covers a ton of space, and yeah, so he just trades off resources. So yeah, I use my blue cap Nox to try to kill the Muck Lamprey. He blocks with the Thieving Magpie, which I think he should have just kept on the Babbling Brook and had the Death Blow. And then I trade the Brown Bears for the Roaming Monster. I mean, he blocks. And then I get him for 2 with the Common Cottagers and get him to Death's Door. But yeah, unfortunately, he uses Riptide, pulls me into the Babbling Brook, and then attacks me with the Muck Lamprey. And that is the Death Blow. So, yep, great game, Ryan. He actually won this. And yeah, I flipped over the next few cards. I don't usually do that. I'm not like one of those people, but just out of curiosity, like how many turns before I would have gotten the death blow, and it was like I wasn't gonna get there anytime soon, basically. I guess maybe my next card was Silver Valkyrie, which is like really good because I could play it on the Poisoned Well and be able to attack from anywhere. I probably would have had to choose it to block though anyway. So yeah, that was the match. I did lose that round, but I was 2-0, and I think Ryan was 1-1 going into that match. So I actually did win the event, even though I lost the last round, which sometimes that kind of thing can happen. I didn't know this at the time, but Ryan, this person right here, he's from my local store, as well as this guy here. He actually brought some special prizes for everyone. So he brought like 500 dust, and then he brought a box of Arthurian Legends, and he brought an uncut sheet of the draft kit, which is really funny because that's like literally the one collector item that I really wish that I had. Like if you had asked me what is the one collector item you wish you had, regardless of how much it was worth, it would be a draft kit uncut sheet. Like that is so sweet. It's so like this is when they invented the draft sheet, and draft was like really cemented in Sorcery. So that's just like a really special moment for me and my channel, having a draft kit. So that is actually my prize for this event. So that's what I'm holding there. But yeah, this was the crew. It was a really fun event. Had a blast. Thanks so much for Ryan to bring in those special prizes. And thanks to the Explorer Series for putting these events on. It was really cool. This event was held at Honeybee Games. It was the first time I've ever been there. There's just a couple of local guys in Milwaukee who play there, and unfortunately neither of them actually made it to the event, but it was still a nice central location for the Green Bay folks and the Chicago folks to get together and have a draft. So all right, thanks for watching, guys. If you ever want to draft online, you know the story, but Sorcerer's at the core Discord. You can join the link in the description of the video, and we draft every Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be drafting Gothic in a couple months, so stay tuned for that. Definitely plug into the drafts and give it a shot. We also do sealed leagues on Sorcery at the Core, so as soon as Gothic is on Curiosa, we're going to start jamming some sealed, and that's going to be a blast. So yeah, I hope to see you guys around there. Shoot me a message on Discord, drop a comment, and a like, subscribe to the channel, catch all my future content, and I'll see you next time.